Today we're discussing language learning. I want to talk about 3 experiences. So my question for you is, what is your experience with language learning? And I want to talk about obstacles and things that can sometimes get in the way. So if we are motivated to learn a language and we have good methods and good teachers, then we can really make some progress. I'm going to talk about 3 experiences I've had with language learning. The first is in high school, where we had to take a language. That was a requirement. The second is when I studied abroad in university. We also were required to study a language as part of our university requirements. And the third is my most recent, and I feel my most successful language learning experience. So I'm really excited to share that with you. And I think this topic is important because if you're in a situation where maybe you have to take a mandatory class, mandatory English class, or you need English for your job or some other reason, then it's really important to find something that works for you. And later I want to talk about, in a different video, I'll talk about this debate of whether grammar is the way to go or whether comprehensible input is the way to go. But we'll save that discussion for another day. And if I've done it, I'll link to it here for those who are interested. Okay, so the first experience that I had with language learning was in high school. We had to choose between French and Spanish. And of course, it was mandatory. I had to take the class. And at that time, I really don't think I was very interested in learning a language. I had no use for it, no reason to learn it. So I understand what that's like. We got to actually spend half of the semester trying out one, and then we had to make a more permanent choice. I chose Spanish first. And I tried out the Spanish teacher, and for some reason, I didn't like that teacher. So I decided to switch to French. And then I had no choice. I had to stay with that teacher. And that teacher was okay, but I really wasn't interested in French. So although I took French in high school, I remember very little about it. I can say my name is, je m'appelle Trey. I can say school, I think, école. But that was pretty much all I remembered from my French class. Since then, I've visited France and used some other French. But I can't recall it. Oh, of course, merci beaucoup. But I can't remember a lot of it now. All right, that was my first language learning experience. And needless to say, it did not go well. My second experience was in university. There was a study abroad program, and it was at a community college in Boston, really great place. I was the first person in my family to go to university, so community colleges are cheaper than other 4-year universities. It's a 2-year university. So there was a study abroad program, and if you were successful in your application, they covered most of the cost of it. Now we could choose between Argentina and Spain and some other places, but for me, I now wanted to study Spanish. So the choice between Argentina and Spain was basically made based on finances at the time. I paid for all of my own schooling. I was working and going to school at the same time, and so I chose Argentina because it was cheaper. So I studied abroad in Argentina. That experience was also not great. It was great in terms of traveling and seeing Argentina, and I had a lot of great travel experience there. But I was sitting in my class listening to the teacher speak Spanish, and I couldn't understand anything. And I had already taken a semester of Spanish, so I had some Spanish. I could understand my teacher in Massachusetts, but in Argentina, I couldn't understand the Spanish. So I was sitting in class, and the teacher was speaking, and the other students were laughing, and I felt so stupid. I was so, but yet I had placed in this level 2 class, so it wasn't good. So I went to the administration and I told them, I think I need to go to a lower level class. So they changed me to the level 1 class, which was great because I could understand. And I still remember my Spanish teacher. She so many times, she said, por ejemplo, which is, for example, in English. And I really, really loved my teacher in that class. But the problem is, I didn't really learn anything new because I had already learned all the material in the level 1 class. So it's really important to get materials that are the right level for you. And I think the reason that I had difficulty understanding is because Argentinian Spanish is quite different, at least to my ears, than other Spanish. There's a lot of zh sound where usually it's a y sound, like calle, caja. Everything sounded different. I couldn't understand. So it wasn't very successful. Okay, so my third language learning experience is with Korean. And actually, until recently, that has not been very successful either. But now I'm really, really, really motivated. And I'll tell you why. But first, I want to tell you why. So I have lived in Korea for 15 years. 한국 살아요 means I live in Korea. 15 years I've lived in Korea, and I studied Korean off and on over that time. I've tried taking classes, and I've tried some books. I've tried lots of things, but the classes didn't work well because it was heavily focused on grammar. And for me, learning a language and beginning with a focus on grammar is not effective. I like grammar, I'm interested in grammar, but I first need comprehensible input. I need really the vocabulary first and sentences. So it's been a couple weeks now, and my success in Korean is because I found some really, really great YouTube channels, and I love them so much that I stay motivated and I get a lot of comprehensible input. It's really, really rewarding when we find the right material at the right level. So that means being able to understand 85, 90%, and having just some of it be new. So if you are struggling to learn a language, my advice is find a method and material and teacher that works for you. There should be something fun and rewarding about it. So I have learned more Korean by watching these two channels. One is Delicious Korean, and the other one I think is like Pronounce Korean, or it's Yolsup. He's got thousands of videos on it. I've learned more by watching these in the past 2 weeks than I feel like, I've learned in 15 years. Before that, maybe I knew about 200 words, but I couldn't use them. So find the right level, right material, right teacher for you. And when you do that, you can learn a language. You can improve. Yes, mindset is important, but it's really important. You have to enjoy it in some way, or you will not stick with it. You will not be consistent enough to actually make progress like I was doing for 15 years. Picking it up, putting it down, not really being consistent. So consistency is really, really important. And yes, I'm out of breath because I was climbing upstairs. I'm killing two birds with one stone by walking and doing this live stream. And I plan to do these discussing different topic videos. I'd love to do once a week. So I did one before this on gift giving, and this one is on language learning. I'd love to hear your experience in a comment. I will answer your comment, and especially if you're here to learn English, then maybe I can help you with that. What's your experience been? Have you had positive experiences? And maybe you can help other people too. What has worked for you? For some people, grammar works. For me, no. I need to get vocabulary and understand, and then I can have fun with the grammar. Grammar's like math to me. I need more time with it. So tell me about your own both successes and maybe obstacles to learning a language in a comment. And then the next time I do one of these live streams, the topic I'm hoping to do is related to using AI in the classroom. It's kind of a hot topic among teachers and students these days. I think AI can be really great for language learning, and there's great ways to use it. Okay, I just got home. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.